here to introduce like some necessities like for setting up a home studio. So I because like I heard that like in the recent couple years, especially since the pandemic began, I've I I could notice that like the home studio, the demand like is keep
For
growing.
sure,
So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, because like everybody like has to stay at home. Like even like some of my favorite artists, they just use like the home studio like to record some albums.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to use this as my topic for the upcoming episode.
Sure.
So yeah, so first, can I get you to introduce yourself
Sure.
and also your title and
Sure.
also spelling it?
No problem. Okay. So you're recording now? Okay.
Yeah, just look at me. Just
Okay,
ignore.
perfect. So I'm Graham Blank. I'm the vice president for Tomley Music, and it's my pleasure to have you here today. And we'll talk about what's the latest in home recording, how easy it is to get into it, and what you kind of the necessities that you need.
Yeah, so you may now just go ahead. You may not now just introduce like what would be considered the necessities like to set up a home studio
Sure.
in a tiny place.
Yeah. Okay. So the good news is right now, home recording has never been more affordable than it is. So most people have a computer. So the first thing you would need is some sort of recording device. Typically, people are using either Macintosh or Windows computer that has software in it. So they have software recording built into it. So if you have a Macintosh computer like I have here, it comes with GarageBand built in, or you can get something like Logic. You can upgrade. So that gives you the basic recording. So really, there's four things that you need. You need some sort of an input device. So if you're a guitar player or you're a vocalist, you need a microphone, would be the first thing. The second thing you need is an interface, so basically to connect to your computer, and then the software, and then you need some sort of an output device. So an output device would be like headphones or something like little speakers, right? So basically, you can get a system like this. This is a Focusrite system that comes with everything you would need. It comes with a microphone, an interface to connect to a Mac or PC, and then headphones so you can monitor it. So, right out of the box for, under $400, this is basically all you would need to get going.
Oh, so you guys like actually sell a package, right?
Yeah, we have lots of packages. So, it depends on, what level, how many inputs really. So if you're just, there's a lot of people that are doing like podcasting or streaming or YouTube videos or something like that. So if it's just a single person, you probably need like one or two channels as an input. So maybe an instrument like a guitar or a keyboard, and then vocals. So a couple inputs into an interface like this. So this interface basically has your inputs here, the volume controls. That goes into the computer, and then you can record each of your channels individually and then play it back to get like a multi-track recording. So this comes with headphones, and if you wanted to upgrade, you can get speakers, and we have speakers. You can spend as much money as you want, frankly, like anything, but very affordable. I would say you can start for a really good quality system under $500, and then probably 500 to 1,000 and $1,000 up, you can get a lot more. So you kind of upgrade all the different components.
Yeah. So in terms of the microphone, uh, um, is there a specific type of microphone that you would recommend for some beginner?
Yeah, sure. There's two types of microphones. There would be a dynamic microphone, and the dynamic would be something you're going to be close miking. So you're going to speak very closely into it for singing, things like that. Or a condenser microphone. A condenser microphone picks up a larger area. So if you're, this microphone here is a dynamic microphone. So you see this, and a lot of podcasters use this Shure microphone. But a condenser microphone would be more of like a studio quality microphone. So those are really your two options, and they start off fairly affordable, like even under $100 you can get a decent microphone. Some of the microphones don't even require an interface now. Actually, they have a microphone that has a USB, so you connect the mic to your computer, and that's all you need, and that and the headphones, and you can start recording.
Oh, I see. I just have a question. Uh, for broadcast, so for podcasting and also singing. Uh, is that only require the same microphone, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's really only two types of microphones, or two main types. So dynamic. So if you see a singer on stage, typically they're using a dynamic microphone because it picks up only what's very close to your mouth, right? So for live, so you're not getting a lot of background sound. If you have a quiet room, a condenser microphone gives a much better sound and it picks up a larger area and it gives you a more natural sound. So if you had something that would be like a studio microphone, um, you can play your guitar and sing at the same time and it'll pick up everything that you hear in the room. And you can connect both of them either to an interface or you can connect them directly to the computer via USB.
I see. So what about I have some friend who also set up a home studio.
Mm-hmm.
They told me that it's also essential to have a kind of like a mixer.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need. So if you look behind me, this is a software mixer. Okay. So essentially, if I press play here, so it gives me my controls. So instead of having a physical mixer, I have a virtual mixer here. So in this case, what I would do is I would have a microphone plugged into an interface. So the interface gives you the conversion from audio to digital, goes into the computer. The computer does all of the recording and all of the mixing, and then you just have an output that goes to your headphones or to some speakers.
So what would be the difference between the virtual mixer and also the physical?
So a physical mixer, the idea would be that you're mixing the signal before it goes into the computer. So in a live setting, that's essentially what you would do. If you had multiple inputs, let's say you had maybe a drum set, and you're miking all of that up, and then you have a guitar and a bass and a keyboard and so on. So you have maybe 10 or 12 or 16 channels. You would put those into a mixer. That mixer that would then go into the software. So that would be if you wanted to record multiple instruments at one time. But for most home studio applications where people are at their homes, it's usually one person by themselves, or maybe they're recording one track at a time. So they might lay down some drum parts, as an example, if you're doing pop music, and then record a bass part over top and a keyboard part and a guitar, and you can layer it one at a time. So you actually don't necessarily need a physical mixer at all because you're using the interface one channel at a time to record, and then you're playing it back via software.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like up to someone's preference, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, but the virtual one would be much more handy, right?
Yeah, well, because you can save all of your settings, and when you're mixing, like if you're changing your levels and so on, you can record all those and play that back. So it's definitely much more convenient. I would say the majority of our customers, whether they're using Mac or PC, the software, you can get the same software on both platforms. Most customers now are using computer to do the recording with a software mixer, and then they're just using the interface to get the sound in and get the sound out, essentially.
Oh, I see. So okay. So okay, right. Because I have some friend. They also they they tend to record the music along with several music instruments.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, in that case, you could use the exact same setup, but you may have a mixer in between to kind of take all the different parts and put them together if you want to record a bunch of instruments simultaneously. But if you're just doing track by track, you really don't need a physical mixer. You could just use an interface and record the vocals, and then record your piano part or your keyboard, your keyboards or guitars and that sort of thing, right?
I see. So yeah. So what about so if so in a tiny room, so can you provide any tips for people to about how to position a lot of equipment? So is there anything that we need to?
Yeah, usually, well, I mean, I'll use myself as an example. I have a room in my house that uses my music studio. So I have a computer set up in the middle with speakers on either side of it in stereo. I've done some sound treatment in the room, so the room sounds good. I think that's the most important thing. So usually we sell acoustic treatment that you put material on the walls like foam essentially that makes the room not too echoey. So you're getting a very nice sound like you would have in a recording studio. And then depending, I'm a piano player, so I have my keyboard in front of me, in front of the computer and the speakers, but I also play guitar and bass and sing. So I kind of have everything all set up, within a stereo environment. I typically will play back through speakers, and then I'll also listen to headphones as well. So it doesn't require a lot of space, and it doesn't require, it doesn't require a lot of equipment. It can be very affordable.
Yeah.
As I was saying, like, a system like this is under $400, and this provides you with a good studio condenser microphone, so you could use this for vocals or guitar or violin or other instruments, and that goes into the interface, which connects to the computer, using my software to record it, and when I play back, I'm just listening to headphones in this case.
Yeah, I mean, like that is like really convenient because like I didn't know that you guys you guys actually sell a package.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So like okay, so if someone if someone want to like set up a home studio, they don't actually have to like just grab a single item.
No, for sure. I mean, the other thing I should mention, that we have really, really knowledgeable staff, and that's what their job is, to understand what our customers are trying to do, if they're recording for YouTube, or if they're doing podcasting or live streaming, or if they're trying to record music and play it back. And they'll help you with each part of the components. But if you think about the package, that's essentially, those are the 4 parts. You need an input, you need an interface, you need some software, and then you would need an output device. So, obviously you can improve every part. You can buy a better microphone, or you can have a interface that has a mixer built in with multiple channels, depending how many parts you need to record at once. You can, spend a lot of money on headphones, or you can get, a decent pair for around $100. And then same thing with speakers, right? So a package is a good way to start, to get going, and then you say, oh, I want the microphone to sound better, so you could improve the microphone, or you want some bigger speakers or that sort of thing. But we have different packages that have everything in a box, cables and microphone stands and everything. So it's, you can buy one package and go home, plug it into your computer, and you're good to go.
I see. So what about like if some people like prefer to purchase some used item?
Mm-hmm.
So so what is your opinion about that?
I mean, there's lots of used equipment on the market. The one thing that, all of the things we've been talking about today are very high tech, and generally it's very similar to computers, right?